What is going on, everybody? You know what I want to do today is I want to talk to you a little bit about your relationship with yourself and why that's one of the most important things that's going to add up to your own success. If you haven't been to this channel before, my name's Chris Albert and this is the Warrior Soul of Goji. The Warrior Soul of Goji is part of a larger project that I have. The Warrior Soul podcast, which I'm the host of, is a lifestyle podcast for U.S. military veterans. And the reason why I put that podcast together is to help veterans to live their best lives. And so you're going to see me here on a weekly basis talking about health, talking about fitness, talking about nutrition, talking about things to make you better and to push you to becoming a better version of yourself. And today's subject is one of the most important things you can do to get onto that path to make yourself better. And I'm talking about that relationship with yourself. Now, what do I mean? Well, I know that there's a lot of you out there who are constantly criticizing yourselves. You're constantly putting yourselves down in your own head. You're constantly saying, I'm not good enough to do this. And every time an opportunity comes up for you to improve, a little bit of doubt creeps into your mind and it says, you know what, this probably isn't worth it because I'm not worth it. And the reason why I know that is because I've had that going on in my head throughout my life. I am one of those people who will rip myself to shreds. You know what? I have put myself into situations where I literally affected my own health. I'm a big believer in the idea that the reason why I suffered from ulcerative colitis as severely as I did was because I was constantly stressing myself out with negative self-talk. And you know what? I do it with almost everything you see me doing here. I'm constantly thinking to myself about why this channel isn't more popular than it is. Every time I put a video together, I'll do like 20 or 30 takes because I don't think I look right on the video, right? But what that adds up to is me basically committing to inaction. I'm constantly worrying in my head over exactly what I need to do and second guessing myself. So in a lot of ways, that's held me back. But one thing that I've figured out is that the relationship that I have with myself, it definitely needs to improve. And that's probably true with you too. And the big thing that you have to understand here is this. You know, you probably have a lot of people in your life that have wronged you in the past. You probably had a lot of disagreements with your significant other, your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife. You've probably had disagreements with your parents. You might have had disagreements with your kids if you have. But every time you have a disagreement with somebody who you love, you usually forgive them. And that's not necessarily true with yourself. You know, a lot of us will hang on to shit that we've done for a really long time. And we'll constantly allow it to eat into us. You know, I didn't live a very good life when I was in my late teens and 20s. And because I wasn't a very good person back then, I was constantly making up stories throughout my early 30s about why I was so depressed and in such a bad state. I told myself it was punishment for the life I lived when I was in my 20s. And I accepted that. And because I accepted that, it really held me back. But now I'm learning to give myself a break. I'm learning that the only way I'm going to be able to move forward is if I forgive myself for what I did in the past. And the only way I'm going to improve upon myself is to understand that I'm worth the work in order to improve myself. I'm worth the work that I have to put into myself in order to improve myself. And think about that. If you're on a weight loss journey, if you're on a journey to become more fit, if you're on a journey to build a business, if you're on a journey just to do anything to better your life, you know, you have to believe that you're worth the work you're going to put into it. And if you don't believe that, you're going to constantly go through this cycle and say, you know what, I'm not even worth the effort to put in here. And I'm just going to give up. So the moral of this story, the big message I'm trying to send home with this video is that before you do anything, before you try to start something, really sit down with yourself and try to forgive yourself for past transgressions. And try to put yourself into a place where you know and you understand that you're worth the effort. You've got to live with yourself for the rest of your life. And if you don't do that, then you're going to be constantly holding yourself back. And another thing is this: you'll find that if you do take those steps forward and you do start to put some work into yourself and you do those things that you need to do to make yourself better, your relationship with yourself is going to improve so much more. And you're going to have a much better feeling about everything you're doing and more confidence and everything that you need to move forward to get to the top of that mountain. So that's all I got for today, guys. I'll be back at you with another podcast tomorrow, and I'll be back at you with another video at some point next week. All right. If you're interested in learning more about Warrior Soul and the Warrior Soul Agoge, head over to www.warriorsoulagoge.com. That's AGOGE. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you around there. Peace.